Hey guys, we are here at a new house, so there is not a freeze up, but we are going to use the water shutoffs to alter the water to make it look like there's a freeze up and give you some ideas of what you can check and what you can do to possibly fix those. All right, so you wake up in the morning and you go to the sink and you have cold water. Blake will turn on the cold water, but then all of a sudden you go to use hot water and you have no hot water. A lot of times when water lines run on the outside of these walls here, it's common to get very cold from the wind and everything. So let's check it out underneath. All right, so underneath here, you'll see you got your water lines and sewer lines. So if you got no hot, you see where it's going through the cabinet. See that collar? Some of them have collars, some don't. Some have more openings. What we'll do is we'll lift this collar up right here, and we'll try to get some heat down in this hole. A lot of times older homes will have a bigger opening, which makes it a little easier. So let's throw some heat to that and see if we can get it to go. And he's putting a little heat down the hole there. This is a cordless heat gun, which is nice to have. But you want to make sure that you are not too close to the hose or got it too hot to where you're going to melt anything. Always leave this valve on, so when the water does break loose, the pressure will help clear the line and you'll get water coming through. And as you see, we have the hot water coming out of the tank, shut off coming down and down into the bottom of the home. At the bottom, in the belly, it'll tee off. There will usually be an elbow right here and go over, tee off, and make its way. A lot of times that elbow at the bottom is pressed up against the insulation, and that can get cold as well too. So that's another spot to check. All right, so after running a little bit of heat, the water pops on. You can stop giving it heat, put that collar back down if you got one, and there you go. That is one way to check that. Same thing if something happens to the cold and you have hot, just do it the opposite way and do it to the cold water. Hopefully that idea helps. And then one more, just information for you. Water lines that run down the walls, come down the wall, make a 90 and come out to the center of the home and run forward and backwards along the heat ducts to help keep them from freezing. So here's the same thing. If you have no water at your toilet, pop that collar up, throw a little heat down, see if that helps. Another idea is if you know it's going to be really cold, if you're calling for below zero for a long time, you know, sometimes it's always nice to leave your cupboards open. It does get a little heat to those water lines going into the floor. That's always a help too. So you wake up in the morning and it's not the situation where you have cold that works and hot that doesn't, or the other way around. But you wake up and you have no water at all. No hot, no cold. You got nothing. Everything seems to be frozen. So here we are in the water heater compartment. In this home, there's a main shutoff right here. So the main water comes up to this shutoff, goes up to this elbow and tees off and goes into the water heater and then goes down and feeds the rest of the house. A lot of homes, they have an elbow down here or a T. Water line comes in, tees off, then comes up to the water heater. So sometimes that T just below the belly underneath the home is copper and it freezes up and you'll get no water into the home at all. So that's something you can check too. So if you do wake up and you have no water in your kitchen, dishwasher, bathroom, shower, you have no water anywhere, check that elbow under the water heater. That is always a big common issue. Otherwise, if you have no water anywhere in the house, usually that tells me your heat tape is out. It means you've frozen somewhere on your main line coming in, and next we're gonna check out the heat tape. Before we go and check the heat tape, there are two more suggestions I wanna let everyone know. Sometimes when people know it's gonna be super cold out, they like to let their water run a little bit, trickle, you know, even less than that, you know, a drop. That way their water line doesn't freeze. But I am gonna tell you that I do not suggest that, because what can happen is that water will go into the sewer line, and as the sewer line is getting colder, it's gonna start to freeze. And what it's gonna do is gonna build up, build up, build up, and then you're gonna have a frozen sewer line, which is way worse than a frozen water line. It's no fun fixing. Another thing you can try is your heat ducts. If you shut all of your heat ducts except for the front and the back of the home, because you do need some air coming out, if If you shut all the other ones, this will cause the heat ducts to warm up a little bit because they are aluminum. So they'll get a little warm. The water lines tend to follow the heat ducts through the home. They'll heat them up a little bit, and that might be another way to try to get something to unthaw. Here you have your water riser, water meter, and water shutoff. Around the meter, you're going to find a little silver wire. That is your heat tape. If you put your hand on it, touch it, feel it, it should be warm to the touch. If that is not warm, then your heat tape is not working, and it may not be plugged in on the other side. Let's check out the other side. Here's the water going into the home and where the heat tape connects. Earlier, I told you in the video that under the water heater in the belly, there may be T's that freeze. Right above this water line is that location. Right next to where the water goes in the belly, you'll have an outlet. This outlet supplies the power to the heat tape. Check this with a plug tester to see if you have power. If you do not, you may want to check a GFI outlet in the bathroom, laundry area, or your electrical panel. These may be tripped and giving no power. You need power there so the heat tape has power to heat up. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we post more videos.